Hi guys, know it's been a while since I've done a video, but I've got a lot of messages kind of asking how I am, a couple of topics that people want me to discuss, obviously with it being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month in June, and yeah, I mean, I used to do these, some people know, every week, or maybe 2 a week or something, but obviously I've cut back on that with, obviously working out and life kind of catches up, and I just kind of got away from it, but when a lot of people message me and I'll kind of visit again and do any requests kind of. So yeah, I suppose the first one, how am I? At the moment, I'm struggling. I was doing really good. Enjoying my guy again. Starting to get a bit fit, all that kind of stuff. A small injury, nothing too major, but yeah, the last couple of weeks, the voices have kind of come back a little bit. Suicidal thoughts are, they're always there. But, I'm trying to stay positive on it. They have got a bit louder the last couple of weeks, and it's just been tough. Getting to work, getting to train, and that kind of stuff has been it's been difficult for me, but I suppose to put a positive spin in it, which is what we must try and do at times. It has been 2 years since my last suicide attempt, so I'm now 2 years without acting on those thoughts, and despite the fact they might be there, I would call that pretty severe progress considering how bad the last one was as well. And that does kind of, that's kind of a good news kind of out of it for myself personally, obviously, and for the people asking about me. So, I always appreciate when people text me randomly, and, my messages and all that are always open, so anyone who needs me, I'll always be there. But yeah, it's a struggle at the minute, but we'll get there, just take it a day at a time, and, hope the next day will be a little bit better, and that's all you can really hope for. But yeah, like I said, focusing on work and my sports now, and hopefully be able to get out of it. Yeah, like I said, it's been 2 years since I last had a suicide attempt, and that can't be but good news. And that kind of leads into a question I got off someone who obviously I won't name, but yeah, basically it was about expectations in life, and when you're depressed, or when you've tried to commit suicide or you plan to end your life, what do you do when you live and then you want to keep living after that? It's difficult. It is. I'm not where I want to be in life right now, but I'm doing all right, At this stage, I would have hoped for my own restaurant, but, I have worked for myself and had a company of my own, that's what I have at the minute, and that's going pretty well. I do private gigs as well, which, saving up money, and hopefully I'll have a restaurant in a couple of years. But I suppose when you're suicidal, and when you attempt, usually it was with the plan of a successful attempt, and that's just the way it is. And so you don't you might let yourself get a little bit behind on bills, or you might let yourself get, you might spend your money a little bit recklessly. You might buy stuff for yourself or other people. You might leave yourselves in some situations that mightn't be the best, And I suppose the other thing as well is, if you're suicidal for a couple of months, or a couple of years even, it does basically waste those years of your life. It does. And obviously they're not a waste because you're battling with it, and obviously every day you can kind of keep going is a day of progress. But in terms of business life, work life, careers, stuff like that, it does put you back a little bit. And I think you just gotta accept that. Say, right, okay, those years are gone. I wasted my life in that bad job because I didn't want to be here. I had no ambition. Now I really want to go do something. You can still do it. You might be a year or two behind where people perceive you to be, but as long as you're going at your own pace, I think that's important. Once you have expectations set for yourself, what other people do and don't do, and what stages they do it at. Some people at 18 will have their own house. some people will live on their own at 16 and won't get their own house till they're 40, you know. It's all about life and what you want to do with it as well. And I think when you're in the mindset of, I'm done, that's it, and there's no future, you obviously do let yourself get behind in terms of progressing your future because, you know, naturally you think there's not going to be one. And so it's about managing expectations, I think, and just saying to yourself, yeah, look, I'm a little bit behind where I was meant to be or where I wanted to be, but that's okay because I'll get back there. And then when I do, it'll all be worth it. And the struggle that I went through, you know, like he always said to me, like if someone said to me, you know, sorry, I'm beating milestones, you know. I first got really, really depressed when I was like 17. It first hit me, and then I got my diagnosis maybe like 6 years later, you know, so it was quite a while. And obviously they don't help or excuse anything, but they do certainly give reasons for what's happening and an explanation, which is, you know, it's nice to kind of have. But yeah, like, you know, I said I wouldn't see my 21st birthday. I have said I wouldn't see my 25th birthday. I have, you know, I'll turn 29 next week. And I said I would never, I was 100% certain I wouldn't see my 30th. And, you know, please God, I will. And, you know, it's always a question of, like, even when I wasn't fully suicidal, it would be like, well, I don't want to live to 40. I don't want to be 45 and this and that. And, you know, people come into your life and they change that, you know, and things happen in your life that changes that. And, you know, it's important some days to just, you know, accept defeat. Like I've said before, you know, some days you just can't open the curtains, stay in bed. It's okay to run with that and then try again tomorrow. Because sometimes it's so bad that when you do try and fight it, you feel worse for failing, quote unquote. But yeah, I think, you know, those little achievements, like for me, seeing every birthday that I have now is a birthday I never thought I would. You know, so that's got to be nothing but positive for myself. And yeah, like I said, you know, it's tough at the minute, and the suicidal thoughts are there, and I'm not sure there'll be a year where I won't have suicidal thoughts. But like I said, it's been 2 years since I tried it. And you know, I can't but be positive, as I said, and I think, yeah, it's just about managing your expectations, being realistic with yourself. You know, you're not going to go from 4 years of not wanting to live and progress your career 4 years in 1 or 2 to make up for lost time. It just doesn't happen that way. Now, you can fast track it certainly a year or so, but you do just got to be a bit patient with yourself, trust the process, and also it gives you something to work towards. You know, if you're trying to take a year or 2 off, how long the progress would usually take, keeps your mind busy, you know, in terms of careers and stuff like that. But yeah, so yeah, that was just a question I got. I thought it was really interesting about, you know, what do I do when I'm behind where I thought it would be in life. And that's kind of what I would say. You know, you can't just make up the years that you've been fighting. You had different battles at that time. And I would say, you know, just be patient with yourself and put all your efforts into making up as much time as you want or as you can. But also remembering that you're not going to make up, you know, 4 years worth of career progress in a year. But yeah, so hope all you guys are good. And like I said, my messages are always open for anyone who needs it. And yeah, thanks, guys.